every once in a while I present to you a figure that just is not true to their wild selves. And while I do love the fact that I have a leopard in my collection, it's not one of my top faves. And we can sit back and we can talk about leopard facts, but this figure truly makes me do a double take. So let's take a closer look at Safari Ltd's Leopard. The paint job isn't too bad. I like the rosettes, that they're free of spots in the middle. And for the most part, it is pretty good. Can the leopard keep its spots, or keep its spot in the ranking within the sculpt? I guess we need to check that out. But first, we need to say something about the eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, the eyes on this one, I don't know, kind of throws me for a loop. Let's take a closer look at the mouth, if we can. There, we got it. Now tell me, something is not just a little bit off on this one. But, despite that fact, it is a leopard, and it has a spot on my, in my collection. I am not giving it up. However, it scores an 8 out of 10 for paint job. Not sure what happened between the jaguar and the leopard, but something did. Now, if you look at the sculpt on this guy, he is not a happy big cat. The ears are back and the mouth is open, showing off its teeth. It's definitely not happy. Not only is the sculpt giving this creature a very different story, but I'm going to give it a very different story than the one that we started off on, and it is getting a 10 out of 10. Realism. You know, I noticed the eye went right after it came, and I would have scored the paint job a lot higher if the eye wasn't the way it is. We have all looked at so many different creatures so far, and we have so many more to look at before we're done. For now, though, we're done with realism, so let me just say that this animal has earned its 10 out of 10. Now, closing thoughts. This animal once roamed from Africa through the Middle East into India and beyond. And it lives in rainforests, in grasslands, in the middle of cities, even in the cold in some places. It hunts in tall grasses of the African savanna, amongst buildings in some of India's cities, and perhaps even amongst conifers. This cat has adapted to humans, and yet remains wild in portions of its range. With that, guys, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.